Hey guys, so one big barrier I always hear to getting involved in strongman, even if you're already involved in competing in strongman, is access to implements. A lot of people don't have a crew either close to them or access to implements on a regular basis. So I'm going to go over a few exercises here that I really like for carryover for strongman that you can do in any gym. Hey guys, Justin here, and today we're going to go over three of my favorite lower body assistance moves for strongman that you can do in a commercial gym, anywhere that you have access to. One big problem sometimes for people trying to get into the sport or who are already in the sport is access to implements. Some of them can get very expensive. Some people may need to travel a long ways, and time scheduling conflicts might keep them from traveling on a regular basis. These three moves in particular, I don't see a lot of people doing, and I feel like they have a huge carryover to strongman, so figure I'd show you them. If you want to implement them in your training, cool. If not, that's cool too. There's lots of different things you can do. So let's get into the movements. All right guys, so first up, front box squats. So on these, you really want to think about exploding off the box. You're going to want to pause on the box. I personally like to rock back a little bit and get a little bit of momentum to kind of simulate like a stone load or keg load over a bar or to a box. That's going to really help out of the bottom, especially pausing on the box. I don't like to do touch and go on these. Number one, that usually people, when they do touch and go on a box squat, tend to slam into the box. So you want to control on the way down, pause, rock a little bit, explode up. You can also add bands to this if you want. Either for speed work or for overload if you want to go really heavy. I recommend either doing really heavy or speed work on these. I don't like to do a lot of in-between stuff, so either I'll do like heavy 3s to 5s in that range, or I'll do speed work like 8 to 12-ish sets of 2 to 3 with bands. Also, if you don't have the box like you saw, you can do right to the bench. You're going to want to be right at parallel, maybe a little bit higher actually would be good. So if you don't have a box, don't worry. You can use the bench to squat to. So guys, another option for the front box squat, if your gym has safety squat bar, you can use that as well. So you're going to want to flip it upside down. So right now, this is how you normally set it up. The handles are facing away from you. You get underneath and you squat like that. So what you want to do is take the bar, okay, flip it up and around, put it in the rack this way so that the handles are facing out or towards you instead of away from you. One other thing, if you have the Elite FTS one, if you can read SS yoke across the back here, it's set up for a regular back squat. If you can't, and you can see the Elite on the tops of the handles here, then you're set up for a front squat. So basically, you're going to kind of lift this up, kind of squat underneath it. This is how I like to get in. Okay, get in there, get yourself set, get the bar right up on your neck here, and then you're going to go down into your squats. Personally, I really like using safety squat bar. I feel like it makes it a little bit more difficult with the camber, as well as making it more comfortable across your chest than using a straight bar, especially if you can't get into a good clean position and you're kind of doing the cross thing. I feel like this is much more comfortable, and you're able to probably do a bit more weight because of the way it's distributed across your neck instead of being right on your throat. So if you have an SSB bar and you're doing these the box front squats, definitely I would say use that. Try both ways, see what works better for you, but I would suggest trying it with this and seeing if that's more comfortable and if you can do more weight. All right guys, so next up is a Zercher squat. This is a little bit of an old-timey exercise. So you're going to set the bar up just a little bit above your belly button in the rack so you can get under it. As you can see, I have it cradled in the crook of my arm. This exercise is really going to tax your upper back and your core. You really want to force yourself to stay as upright as possible, nice and controlled on the bottom. What you don't want to do is rest your elbows on your legs at the bottom, so you want to be kind of inside your legs. As you can see from the front view here, I'm pushing my knees way out. Upper body is nice and upright, keeping that bar nice and close. You start very light on these. The weight is going to get really heavy really fast, and you might have to wear some elbow sleeves or something once you go heavy to kind of protect the inner part of your arms here. But great exercise, and definitely add it in. All right, guys, so last but not least, single leg RDLs. So you can do these with either a dumbbell or a kettlebell. You're going to want to have the dumbbell in the opposite hand of the one that's on the ground. So as you can see, I have the dumbbell in my right hand. My left foot is on the ground. Main things you want to think about on this: core is nice and tight, so you don't want to twist on the way down. And you're not just bending over at the waist. So as you can see here, my hips are going back. I'm actually trying to push the foot that's off the ground backwards. So you're not just like flopping over at the waist, you're actually pushing that hip back as far as you can and then exploding up. So you want to go down nice and slow, under control, and you're going to explode up and really squeeze that glute on that side. This exercise is extremely good for moving events, especially the yoke. When I do yoke, I really think about pulling with my front foot instead of pushing off of my back foot, and that's exactly what this exercise simulates. If you're doing it with a kettlebell, don't let the kettlebell hit the ground. So I see a lot of people try to do this with a kettlebell, and either they hit the ground and it pushes them out of position because they go down too fast, and you're not keeping constant tension as well with the kettlebell if it hits the ground. Balance is going to be a big issue on this for most of the people starting out. So if you have a problem with the balance, grab onto a rack, something sturdy with your offhand. That's really not a problem. You're not really going to be helping yourself with this. You're just going to be kind of balancing so you can work the movement the way it's supposed to be. So try this one. This is definitely one of my favorite movements, especially, like I said, for yoke and any kind of moving events in Strongman. Try it out. I hope you like it, and you should get a lot out of it. All right, guys, so that's it. Those are my big three for lower body assistance. Obviously, there's a ton of assistance work that you can do. I'm trying to give you a couple that maybe you haven't thought of before, or you haven't used before, a little more obscure. Definitely, I would say try them out. Most of them can be done in any kind of rep range. I suggest, especially on the box squat, the front box squat, that one I use mainly for either heavy work or speed work. You can try it doing it for reps, that's fine as well. The other two exercises I do mostly for reps. So I don't usually do a ton of heavy zerchers, just because it's very taxing, and trying to hold on to it too is kind of, let's be honest, it's a little bit painful. I have access to an axle here, so I use that, which spreads the weight out a little bit more on your forearms, but this is for you guys who don't have those implements. So using a regular barbell, if you put your elbow sleeves on, that'll help. You could even wrap like a towel around the bar if you really wanted to, if it really is painful for you. As far as the RDLs go, I like to do those more like bodybuilder style. So I do usually between 3 and 6 sets, between 8 and 12 reps or so. Start light with those. Like I said, if you need the balance, use a rack, something sturdy. But you can end up going heavy on those. I've gone pretty heavy for 8 to 12 reps. I would keep the rep ranges the same, just work up to it. I really feel like that's one of the best exercises you can do for moving events. And just in general, I think a lot of people don't do enough single leg stuff. So adding that in will really help find any imbalances you have. Like I said, the balance is going to be a challenge. So it's just a great overall exercise. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing one hopefully next week on some upper body assistance stuff. So if you have any suggestions on exercises that you want to see, or ones that you actually use that you've gotten good results on, please leave them in a comment down below, whether it be lower body exercises, upper body exercises, whether it be for strongman, for powerlifting, Highland Games, whatever. It doesn't matter. I want to have your feedback so I can make videos that you guys want to see. So like I said, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Helps me get these out to more people. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.